Time for a wiener fight. You heard me right, JD. We're having a wiener fight. We've got a smoked sausage here, and this one here we pre-cooked with the sous vide. Both the same recipe to start with. We've got cure in this, so why don't you follow along, and I'm going to show you exactly how we made these, and we'll come right back and have a taste test. Like any good sausage recipe, we're starting off with some cubed up pork butt. We're going to run this through the LAM number 12 meat grinder. I'm just doing a single grind on a 4.5 millimeter plate. A lot of times I might double grind this, starting off with the coarse plate and then going to the fine. But today we're going to do this in short order and do a single grind, which is just fine. Just make sure you get that meat nice and chilled and cut it up into small enough pieces for it to go through the grinder easily. I find taking a little bit extra time to cut into smaller pieces will give you a better quality product at the end. So we'll go ahead and get all this in. We'll speed this up a bit. This whole process didn't take even 10 minutes though. When it's all done grinding, you're going to get yourself a little handful of this meat and put it back in, and this will help push out any of the meat that's stuck in there, because we don't want to waste any meat. Even if it's only pork and not beef, we're still not wasting expensive meat products these days. Now, time to add the seasonings. I got the burger seasoning from Fire Smoke in here. We got curing salt, regular salt, and a little bit of nutmeg. I'll leave the exact recipe down below. Going to go ahead and sprinkle this evenly across the meat. This will help to incorporate it consistently. I like to start mixing a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and add the water. You could mix all the spices with the water too if you want, but for me, this is just my process, and this is how I do it. Going in with about a cup or so of water here. This is 8 pounds of ground pork we're working with today. Going to mix this in thoroughly. Make sure you don't get in a rush and skimp on the mixing. You're going to want to mix this until you get good protein extraction. See how this is getting really sticky and sticking to my gloves? Now you know you've got that protein extraction. At this point, I'm adding my binder, which is carrot fiber. There's lots of options here. You can use whatever binder you want or skip the binder. But for me, it's a little bit of insurance that you're going to get a delicious sausage by adding a binder. So I highly recommend you use whatever binder you want. You're going to go ahead and mix this a little bit more to make sure it's fully incorporated. Then, like with any new recipe, make sure you fry up a test patty. Just going to cook this up quickly in my Lancaster cast iron skillet. And then we're going to give a little taste test because we're going to be casing this tonight. And once you case it, you can't adjust the seasoning. So make sure you give it a little taste. Nicely cooked. Going to break it open. Make sure it's fully cooked on the inside. Looks good right there. Let's give this a taste test. Make sure it's ready to stuff. And it is. On to the stuffing. Working with the LAM 5-pound stuffer. We're going to go ahead and get this sausage in there. It's important to force it in there and not leave any air pockets, because that's going to give you trouble when you're stuffing your casings. So go ahead and pack it in there, throw it in there, slam it with your fist, whatever you got to do, but get out the air pockets as you fill it. We're going to split this into 2 batches because this 5-pound stuffer really only holds about 4 pounds anyways, so this is going to work out just perfect. Now here's a pro tip for you. When it comes to casings, get yourself some pre-tubed sausage casings. I get mine from Syracuse Casing Company. I've got no affiliation with them, but I'll go ahead and leave a link down below. I've had great luck with these sheep casings. They're really strong and blowouts are never a problem, and having them pre-tubed like this makes them really easy to load onto the horn. No having to untangle guts in a pool of water, if you know what I'm talking about. That can be a real pain. There's already enough headaches in making sausage. Trying to find the right end of the guts doesn't have to be another one. Going to go ahead and tie a knot in this, and then we're going to go ahead and start cranking out this meat nice and slowly. Going to use my hand here to regulate how tight it is. With sheep casings, there's very little room for error on how much meat you put in the casings. You need to get them stuffed just right. I'm going to show you here in a second how I judge mine. So you want to be able to push through and go about 3/4 of the way through without putting too much pressure on. That's how you know you're doing it just right. Just keep on going. If you're really nervous about it, you could go one link at a time and keep twisting it. But I've done this enough times. I know just how to stuff these sheep casings and not have any problems. We're going to keep coiling this up as it comes off the horn. Watch out for any air pockets. If you tap them with a knife like that, it's an easy way to eliminate them. And just keep on cranking. Also, I've got a sausage pricker, which is another option to get rid of the air pockets. We'll see that in a minute. I'm going to speed this up and keep cranking. All right, so now here's that sausage pricker I was talking about. I'm not going to go crazy with this, but if I see an air pocket, I'm going to go ahead and give it a light tap with this. Just get rid of some of those air pockets. When I stuff my sausage, I'd rather understuff a little bit, and that's part of the reason why we have some air pockets, because with sheep casings, if you overstuff them, you're going to have big trouble. Going to go ahead and knock that end off. Now, time to make the links. So what you're going to want to do is use your fingers and adjust the tension of the sausage a little bit here. We can change the size of the links or the amount of times that we twist them, and this will tighten up the casings if they're too tight. We're going to give this a lot of twists here because, like I say, with sheep casings, I'd rather understuff than overstuff. And then the other thing you have to do is keep alternating which direction you go. So the first one you'll twist away from you and then towards yourself, and just keep reversing it. I'm using my fingers to feel the tension of the casing as I do this. This is something you'll develop a feel for over time. I've had a lot of nightmares with blown out sheep casings, but I think I've gotten a hang of it now. If you're new to sausage making, go ahead and start off with hog casings. But these sheep casings, to me, have such a better bite. They're always tender, but they don't split like collagen casings could. So we'll go ahead and twist these up quick, and then we'll check back here in just a second. Another close-up shot of how we're doing this. Like I say, a lot of practice goes into being this proficient at making your links. There we go. There's half of them all done. We'll do the next half. Now we're going to put these on some wire racks and let them dry out and let the cure finish doing its thing overnight. Tomorrow, it's time to cook these. Half are going in the smoker, half are going sous vide. Time for the half we're smoking. You can see how the color's changed. This is because of the cure. Getting that Lone Star Grillz Insulated Mini fired up with some Jealous Devil hickory and some chunks. You can see we're not using very much fuel. That's all it's going to take. We're going to smoke this around 160 degrees. We got the grill gun going to light this up. Just light one little spot. I only let it come to about 120, and I'm putting this on. Keeping them on the wire racks to make them easy to handle. I'm going to let the Inkbird smoke controller regulate the temperature. We will end up closing this ball valve on the bottom almost all the way. And I'm going to keep the top vent open as much as I can because I want to try to dry these casings out. These took about an hour and a half, 2 hours in here. They're sitting at 155 degrees. We're going to go and get them off. We got that ice water ready. I like to give them a quick shock, which will keep the casings nice and firm and plump and prevent wrinkling. Look at that great color we got on those. Let's get them off. So we'll pull these off and right into the ice bath. Like I said, this is going to stop the cooking. We got that nice color. It's going to keep getting better though, that color. Put them right in that ice quick. It won't take long. It's cold outside, so we'll just let them finish cooling outside once they get out of that water. There they are, close-up shot of them. And then these will sit inside and bloom for a little bit. That'll enhance the flavors. Now I've separated all the links. I'm going to put about 4 or 5 links into a bag. This will give you a little bit over a pound. And then we're going to vacuum seal them with the Wevac chamber vac. The advantage of this chamber vac is a couple things. One, you can use chamber vacuum bags, which are much cheaper. Also, this vacuum sealer could vacuum seal liquids and marinade. And I do have a discount code I'll leave down below if you're interested in it. You just got to hit the on button and then select your bag size, and it has auto setting once you pick your bag, and it'll do the rest of the work for you. Just put that in there. There's 2 little metal clips that you have to slide the bag underneath, which holds it on the seal bar, and shut the lid. The best part is watching it at the end. This goes pretty quick. You see the timer there. It takes about 40 seconds, I think, to do the bag. There it is. Always satisfying when it releases that vacuum and the bag shrinks around your food. Now, time for the one we're going to sous vide. So this one's still raw at this point. I'm not going to separate each link. I'm going to keep them together except for where I got to break them to put them into the bag. I think this will help keep some of the juices in, but that's just my thinking. So we're going to go ahead and put these in the bag. We're going to go ahead and vacuum seal these the same way we did the other ones, except afterwards they're going to go in the sous vide. We're using the Wevac Sous Vide circulator here. This is my first time sous videing anything, so I figured why not start with sausage. We got this set to 155 degrees. Going to get all these in and let it go for about an hour or so. I think we end up running about an hour and a half. Not sure what the proper time is, but this seemed to work out just fine in the end. So we'll get a plate on top of these to help hold them down because they want to float. Anybody's got any tips or pointers for sous vide? I'm all ears. This is a new technique for me. All right, so they're done. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to create an ice bath. Going to go ahead and pull these plates off. Going to go with the ice into that water. And then we'll pull these sausages out. And then we'll mix them around in there. Try to get them down a little bit before we put them in the fridge. There they are. You can see no juices rendered out. They look good. Get them all in there. That color's changed though. You can see it looks like almost like a hot dog color now. On to the taste test. We're going to taste these cold, but I'd recommend reheating them, frying them up, getting the casings nice and crunchy. But I just want to go for as basic of a flavor so I can compare the two methods. Try the sous vide one first. Let's go ahead and give this a snap, see if the casing will break. Looks like we got a good bind. The casing's well attached to the meat. Looks like a quality sausage. Definitely has almost like a hot dog kind of flavor, but without the smoke. Let's go ahead and try this smoked sausage now. All right, let's take a look at this. We got a nice bind. The sausage is well stuck together. The casing's attached good. Looks like a quality product. Let's go for the taste test. That smoke flavor really ups it. We got the winner here. Smoked sausage all day, every day. Either way you make this sausage, I know you're going to love it. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.